Good evening, everyone. Today is our second annual mental health panel. This is a complete honor to have such a great panelist, different views, different experiences, and professionalism and entrepreneurship. So thank you all for being a part of this. You all know that mental health is very important. It's critical. It's as critical as our physical health. So that's why we are all here today. And I want everyone to know this does not take place of therapy. If you are having a mental health crisis, please text or call 988. I am Ashley Gooden Stewart, CEO and founder of Baby Stewart Foundation, also a grief coach.
And I'm Chloe Kinney. I'm a cosmetologist and I'm a mental health panelist slash advocate. And so basically today we're gonna tap into mental health in kind of like African American setting. So we have a few questions and we're gonna dig into it. So yeah, basically we're gonna dig into it. So the first thing is as far as the questions, what are your what are your opinions about mental health? How do you feel about the word mental health? What does it mean to you? So we'll start with Miss Anna Lindsay right here.
Hi, thanks everyone. It's nice to be on the panel with y'all. When I, as a licensed nurse, I always go to the science and the physical science behind it all. And I believe a lot of it is originated, and not just believe, a study says a lot of it's originated from the brain. The brain is our central station. It's where everything is streamed, our actions, our behaviors. So if we talk about it as being it, mental, it's the mind. It starts right there.
Absolutely. It's okay. We can go with.
So for me, I'm not gonna lie, like it's always been a stigma in the black neighborhood because the first time you say mental, people think crazy. And so that's why a lot of people don't like talking about mental health and understanding that at some point we all need to understand where we're at in our mental health. But that's how I look at it from my point. That's how why a lot of people don't like to talk about it. Because when we hear mental, we think crazy.
Right. Okay, Damon, it looks like you have something to say.
No, it was well, just a like we said, piggyback off what he's saying. Like in the hood where we grew up at, they to say mental health, it's like, man, get your weak behind out of here, man. We strong, man. Especially in the black home. A lot of if they was raised in the 60s and 50s, they don't believe in that mental health stuff. Get up, pull your bootstraps up, and let's go.
All right, Miss Rita, you have one.
So for me, you said, what does the word mental health mean? So in my mind, it depends on how your mental health is. If your mental health is bad, then that word means torture because it's absolute torture. If your mental health is good, that word means peace. The word peace to me means alignment. So if your mental health is good, then that word means peace. But I know from experience, if it's not, it's total torture.
True. Miss Bridget?
So my opinion about mental health is a lot of it starts when we're children, and so I think that childhood traumas are typically where poor mental health can start from. It stems from, but then also genetics, and so that's just my opinion. Working with the population I work with, we see a lot of childhood trauma that triggers a lifelong mental health crisis and trauma. So.
Ooh, okay. I guess kind of piggybacking off of you in the aspect of like I see a lot of things through the eyes of like science or the natural way or how our bodies work. So when we say mental health, I kind of categorize it in two different ways of like we have mental illness and then we have mental disorder. And I think when we speaking like today, I think we're more speaking on more like the mental disorders, which to me are more like you say, like trauma-based things, the depressions, the anxieties, the things that come from basically alter the chemistry in the brain, which we can always repair in that world. And then we got mental illness. We're speaking on like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, things that like cell degeneration or things that we can't repair, in those kind of situations and how to deal with those kind of individuals. So I think that's kind of like just two different ways I see mental health. So I think right now we're speaking a lot on mental disorders and how to, I guess, address mental disorders.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
Right. That was a good.
I'm sorry.
That was
Nah,
a
you
good.
good.
Yeah.
Let's go.
How do you help someone that has a mental health crisis? Like, what would the steps be for you to help someone that has mental health issues?
So one of the panelists can answer that, and anybody
Right.
wanna?
I'll answer it.
Okay.
So to help someone with a mental health crisis, I think you just need to be there with them and also have some resources in your backpack. And so that's community resources, financial resources, because it takes a community of different things to support somebody that's having a mental health crisis. And so I think just being there with them, sitting through it, let the stigma go, and supporting them throughout that time.
Okay, that's a good question. Anybody else want to answer?
I wanted to mention one thing.
That's right.
Another aspect that's important is, and I'm speaking, this is from my experience, you have to let them talk. Like if somebody's having a breakdown, or even if it's not a breakdown, if they're just expressing themselves, a lot of times we love our family and our friends, so we are eager to jump in there and give our opinion and give our advice and tell them but in our reality, you need to let them get it out.
Absolutely.
It's very rare that you can just get it out, because either somebody gonna be offended or somebody gonna just be too eager. Like it's very rare that people will just let you get it out.
Right. That's true.
Nah, I was just gonna say the first thing I would do is to find out exactly what they dealing with, so you'll know how to help them. Cause sometimes, some people be dealing with some stuff that you don't even realize, and you trying to help them with that when it ain't even that. You know what I'm saying? And so I think the first thing is just really figure out what they dealing with, so you can know how to properly help them.
I agree, you have to have a baseline and it's gonna be a collective, so all of our answers are gonna be like what is needed.
Right. That's the goal. That's the goal. That's the goal.
Yeah, all of it together. There's a study, the brain is the least studied organ that we have. They know a lot about heart, and other symptoms of our body, but it's so complex that they're getting there. They're getting there with it, and it's not totally accessible to our community, but there's different factors. There is a thing called brain scanning, a healthy brain versus a brain that has been exposed to genetics, exposed to trauma, even mild concussions. Someone hit their head and nothing real, no bruising. Also chemicals in your home. You're gonna vouch a lot about that. Chemicals in your home and just toxins, assists can be there, and you're finding behaviors in your life, like you said. You don't even know what you're dealing with, and then a lot of times people don't know what they're dealing with. So, and also with our areas, people who are not accessible to that type of scanning, but it is there, and we can advocate for it, especially if you're paying insurance. And I don't believe that our community know enough about how to medically get that help and assessment.
Okay, so that's your nursing background that you showing off on. Oh, okay.
I want help,
Yes,
because
yes.
a lot of times our kids, you're looking at kids and you're like, this kid is just out of whack, or they even talk about those who Columbine and that type of deal, and you can actually compare a healthy brain to an unhealthy brain, and it, like he said, it can be reversed, and we need to know that, and we need to know that about our own people.
What about the people, who you wanna help though? They gotta be willing to open up to express what's going on too as well.
Yeah.
You know,
You gotta
a lot of people
want to
shut
be
down,
better.
exactly, a lot of people shut down, they don't wanna, be vulnerable or let people into their lives like that. So, you know, you gotta be able to recognize that as well.
Yeah.
And I
For
think
our
that's what's
kids.
important about a village, having a village, and as a part of the village, identifying and knowing when that person, oh, they, like you can see, they backing off a little bit, they shutting down a little bit. And just like I said, just sitting with them and not even asking them questions, what's wrong? You know, sometimes people don't even want to hear that, but just being, if you're a part of a village, then be ready to see those different signs within the other people.
That's good. Okay. What measures can be taken to become mentally healthy?
Okay.
Brother?
Well, for me, my answer is probably different, but for me, my mental health started improving. So let me say my answer first. My answer is fitness. Start some kind of way, incorporate fitness into your lifestyle. Me, I like to weight train. I like to lift heavy things and push heavy things and pull heavy things. That's what I like to do. So in my opinion, fitness is, you know how they say a gateway drug? For me, fitness has been a gateway to a better mental health. Yeah, I'm telling you, going from where my mind state was for so long to now, once I found fitness, and I say it found me, it's like little by little. And the funny thing is, why I said it found, well, you know this, but why I said it found me, only reason I even went and started working out is because my husband said something mean, and I was just like, I'm gonna just go do something. And it happened to be a gym. It happened to be a gym. I went to the gym, and I ain't left. But whatever it is in endorphins, I would say that's a great place to start. You ain't gotta be in the gym. You can go take a walk outside, get you some vitamin D.
What's that question again?
The question was what measures can be taken to become mentally healthy?
I would say love you first. Know who you are, and understand that. See, a lot of times I think people, it messes with them when they in a certain predicament in their life, and sometimes people think the road is this the end of the road. We can't go no further, so people start getting depressed or whatever. But when people start discovering and loving themselves outside of everybody else, and start discovering that you can only do as good as you think you can do. And when you start doing better for yourself, I think that helps your mental health because it builds confidence inside of you. And so I think all in all, just love you outside of everybody else. That's gonna be, I think that's the starting point to mental health. Loving yourself.
Absolutely. Simple.
And to say something on that, you know, a lot of people would say too, you know, to get counseling and get help, but a lot of people can't afford that type of help. You know, if they're not on Medicaid or any type of government assistance to be able to afford something like that. So, especially in our community where we grow up in, you know, how many people, you know, that send their kids to a psychiatrist, you know, or a therapist to help them get through it, you know, that's not common. So
yeah.
Unfortunately, now they have United Way. They have different programs you pray with it that will
Absolutely. So yeah, just to add, you have to do some research, and that's why certain agencies have certain free services for you. So like I work for a domestic violence agency, we offer free counseling for victims of domestic violence or sexual assault. And so it's the same for some grief counseling places. And so we just have to get the word out there. Also, we have the marketplace insurance now. Sometimes it's on a sliding scale. We have like indigent care, so like Gulf Coast Health, that's indigent care. And so it's a sliding scale with income. So I just always try to tell people, don't let the income be something that's stopping you from reaching out, because it's all different types of options. You know, some counselors, they accept cash payments and stuff. So yeah, but I think a lot of us do feel like we don't have a resource, and it's so expensive, and it's so many free options available.
See, that's good information right there.
Yes.
I think
That's
Shamar
good,
is a
that's
big
good
one.
information.
Yes.
Yeah, because people don't know that there are options to get help, and I think that is number one. That's how you spread the word. You let people know, hey, it's free over here, it's free over there. There's services that you can get for free. You just have to do the research. Definitely. Okay. How are stigmas associated with mental illness?
Anybody want to volunteer?
Me, right out the gate. Like, hey, nah, like for real, nah, square business. So like, just coming from where I come from, like if people think you crazy if you got a mental illness, not realizing that everybody got something mentally wrong. Ain't nobody just all put together, right?
Right.
But it is a stigma in the black community tied to mental illness. That Negro crazy. and so you going to counseling, going to therapy, that was frowned upon. Like I go see a therapist right now as we speak, and I'm okay with that.
Best decision of my
You
life.
feel me?
Absolutely.
And that's something that's always been frowned upon in our community, not going check on ourselves, man. So yeah, it is a stigma.
And that's crazy because a lot of us need it though.
What?
I mean, think about especially
Absolutely.
in our era, especially coming up through the 80s.
Absolutely, we need
You know,
it.
with the drug crisis, crack coming in through the 80s.
Yes, the
You know,
career.
most of them kids' daddies was in jail.
Yeah.
Most of their mamas was on drugs and out here doing whatever they were doing. So, you know,
Yeah,
we just
Because they don't understand it.
Right.
You know, we don't understand, the understanding and getting the knowledge behind it, which it is, you're just like I know I'm back on the health deal, but just like your heart, your brain is an organ, it's a part of you. If you're not getting the proper fluids and all that good stuff, you balancing, just not understanding.
Yeah, and then too, I think it's because back then, in those times, like our grandmothers, our grandfathers and stuff like that, they weren't big on mental health. They really didn't know really too much about mental health.
you know what, to say something about what you just said, you know what they do? Go pray about it, baby.
That
Go pray about it,
part, that
baby.
part.
Definitely.
Go pray
Or keep
about
themselves
it, baby.
busy.
Or stay busy.
Staying busy.
You know they saying that because they don't know what to say.
Yeah. Go pray about it.
That's like your kid
Definitely.
asking you for help with their homework.
Exactly.
Instead of saying, baby, I don't know that. You
Yeah.
like, you ought to know that. You
Yeah.
must know that.
Right.
Because I would tell baby, I don't know.
Yeah.
I should teach you. I don't know.
Right, so I feel like that's something they didn't know how to identify.
Yeah.
So they just, handled it the best way that they could.
They operated on survival. That's all that matters.
Exactly.
Right.
Survival.
Yeah.
And even back further than that, I mean, I know we're talking about our culture, but back further than that, they used to put them in mental hospitals. They created the wards and just, you would
Sent them
reject,
in.
sent off to the wards. So that's the way we've been handling it throughout whatever culture. We've been handling years by just because.
Send them to the crazy house.
And that's probably another reason why people didn't want to admit that they had
Yeah.
Yeah,
Also,
Soon as I admit, they gonna send me up to the crazy house.
think about it, it's scary. It's a scary thing to feel different or
Yeah.
to feel like you're not, if you don't feel the same way you felt yesterday, and it's scary to have certain thoughts and things like that. So it's a fear along with that stigma. And like you say, send them to the crazy. I've heard that before.
Sending them to the state, sending them to Austin. Yep.
Right.
Very real thing.
Right. Okay, next question is, how do you cope with life stressors? Kevin?
I'm gonna be honest, I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna tell the truth.
Well, we were hoping you've been telling the truth.
Truth.
I don't know. I feel like now I've gotten better at balancing myself and balancing my emotions and balancing my energy. So like I can balance my highs and my lows a lot better. My roller coasters are now more like solid, little bumpy roads instead of super extreme highs and then has to be met by extreme lows. As above, so below. So it's gonna always be like that. So I feel like for me, I spend a lot of my time with nature. I spend a lot of my time like farming or outside or like like, yeah, trailing or like, and of course I smoke and stuff. Like that's typical. But like just everything, a lot of what I do is just reconnecting to nature because I feel like nature, for a lot of us, is a big gateway to our mental health and understanding the root of our beings in general. And I feel like if we can connect more to nature, we kind of understand more of who we are as people. We see correlation within a lot of stuff in nature. It's wild. Like
grounding.
lion's mane looks like a
Right.
brain. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's wild to really
Grounding.
understand.
Have you ever seen a flower of life and what it looked like?
Yeah, completely.
Most
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's dope.
When you said that, so yesterday I'm taking a walk,
Mhm.
and so I see some ducks. And I just stand there and look. And I wanted to just sit down and sit there for hours and look at these ducks.
Yeah.
Like it just brought
The
me
simplicity.
so much peace.
Yeah.
And I thought, if I go home and tell my husband,
Hey, there you go. She going to the crazy house.
like he gonna be
Going to the
like,
crazy
Like
house.
that's what's crazy because we don't realize in our culture. Like I remember growing up, like I grew up in nature. So like I remember when I tell people like, oh, I want to go camping, they be like, oh, that's white people shit. You can't.
Yeah.
That's not
Yeah,
what
yeah.
black people do.
Yeah.
But like the nature is the best thing that ever made me.
Yeah.
You know, like seeing the simplicity,
it made
seeing
me
the
feel
birds.
calm now just thinking about
Yeah,
it.
it's
About
seeing-
water,
Seeing
yeah.
just what is instead
Yeah,
of what we
yes.
try to make because we're trying to keep up with society. Instead,
Uh-huh.
you get to finally just be.
Oh yeah,
And just being is just beautiful.
Exactly.
And that's what helps our mental health kind of
Mhm.
elevate in it.
Okay. Okay, it says people talk openly about physical health issues, but they seem less comfortable talking about mental health issues. Why do you think that's so?
Cause if second you get to talking about mental health issues, people gonna call you crazy. People gonna call you crazy. Like you can't just go and say, hey man, I've been having some mental issues lately. I don't know what's going on with me. They're gonna be like, something wrong with you, fool. Like you can't talk about it. And it's crazy, but it needs to be talked about.
And I feel like that's regional too, because I mean, of course, within like the hood, it's like that. But even if you get in other areas, mental health is still an issue in the aspect of like who wants to address it. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're going through something, that's not my problem. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of,
You know what I'm
so
saying?
who cares?
Yeah, who
And
cares,
that's the
right.
tough part. It's not, it's the hood, it's the suburbs, it's the rich folks. The reality is we so damn selfish. Who cares? Like it's not my problem. So
Exactly.
you deal with it. And then we gotta learn how to actually deal with that because if not,
Exactly.
shit you go crazy. That's what
Man,
happens.
it's-
It's a damn cycle.
When you
That's
told
it.
the truth,
Don't
boy.
stop. So
I think to go back to what you were saying about study, like you said, we've done intensive study about the heart and other bodies, but we haven't did a lot. It's not a lot of work out there in research about mental health. We're still learning about that, and so I think that's why, we don't know about it. It's scary. It's just it needs to be studied more in different populations at different ages, so we can treat it properly and get people what they actually need.
Yeah. Because to say something too, I know some people who went out to the military and did whatever and came back and they're not the same person that they were, mentally. I know people personally like that. And I know somebody who committed a crime and now they in jail right now. And I don't think jail is the place that's gonna help them.
It wasn't
For what they have going on with them, jail's not gonna solve the problem. But the government is gonna keep them there for their body and their money.
Right.
And that's the one thing that we have to fight against too, like the unfair incarceration of people.
Yes.
Instead of locking them up, let's give them the help they need to survive in this world. The tools they need.
but again, that costs money, so who cares?
Yes,
That's the
absolutely.
In that tax money.
Yeah.
But that's that. You say then again, who cares? That means that's our responsibility.
Exactly.
So if they don't care, we gotta
have
care.
to.
Yeah.
You gotta
Who else is
care.
gonna
I
care?
gotta care.
Exactly.
We gotta care.
Exactly.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
the-
We gotta do
You
it.
got to.
But before, go ahead.
That's okay.
I would say, but before we can actually care and do something about it, we as people gotta talk about it.
Yeah.
Like, because I can't just be sitting here guessing if something wrong with you or not, and then I be the come out and ask you, oh, this nigga must think I'm crazy or something. You know what I'm saying?
You all
So-
about business.
So yeah, that's what I'm saying. So before we can do anything about it, us as people gotta be willing to openly talk about it like we openly talk about all the other stuff.
Yeah, for real.
You feel me? Just, hey man, I'm going through something today.
Like, this should be normal.
This should be a normal conversation.
What we're doing right now.
Absolutely.
I feel awkward. You get what I'm saying? It's strange.
Okay, y'all, we gotta go to the next
For
question.
real.
This was good so far, healthy dialogue and everything, love it. So this question, Damon, have you heard the expression, be kind, for everyone you meet is fighting a hard battle? What does that mean to you?
What it mean to me is, everybody got their own perception of their life or what they're going through. I have my world. See, I'm gonna answer that by asking a question.
Okay.
What does your world consist of? Your kids, your family, your work, your home.
Right.
And to each person is its own thing. Work, home, kids. So when you collide both of them, you get what I mean? You don't know what's going on in that world, just like I don't know what's going on in that world. So if you treat people with a healthy median, you know what I'm saying, with respect at all costs, because you never know what they got going on behind.
Anybody else want to chime in?
We're all going through the same thing, for the most part, different ways, different things are coming, but we're all having a human experience. So,
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
and when people are not sensitive to that, then, people are at different levels of development and maturity levels, but when they're not sensitive to that, it's hard for you to expect for someone to give something they don't have or don't know how to give until they get there, and hopefully they get there,
I get that.
so.
Anyone else?
I guess just to be kind, I think that's just meeting people where they are and accepting that, and then you can move forward from there. But if you meet people where they are, and like you said, we have our own circles, everybody going through something, and it's no reason to just off top just be nasty to somebody, just period.
Yeah, like they used to say, treat people how you want to be treated. And I feel like I stand on that every day because it's not hard.
But a lot of people don't do that, though. If you look at society, though,
it's
they
wild.
ain't
It's
not like
selfish.
that.
It's selfish.
You wanna
You
know
walk through the
why?
grocery store on a Saturday. It's ridiculous. It's
You
all
wanna know
about
why? Because at this time in our lives, right, everybody has their own type of energy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you as a good person, you could be the best person, always uplifting, always, in good spirits, have great energy. You come and you try to fill a room with it. Not even knowing that this is what you're doing, but sometimes you're met with people that don't want to give that same energy.
Right, you absolutely.
You get what I'm
Protect
saying?
yours,
And
yeah.
so it's like that's a mental thing, because it's like, now I see that you're having such a terrible day. Now I have to be on guard all day to protect my energy and how I feel and my peace of mind without letting you tear that down.
Right.
That's a hard thing
That
to
is
do.
hard.
It
It's
is
hard.
Because there's a lot of people out here that don't carry that good positive energy. There is a lot. I run across people all the time. I'm a hairstylist, so I run across people that have these crazy stories, and you think how did you make it all this time? What are you doing for your mental stability? What are you doing for your peace of mind? How have you been living all this time like this?
On the wing and the
And so I think that's what it is basically, in this time, it's hard to meet people with a positive medium and protect your own peace of mind. It's very hard.
Yeah, but I guess understanding the general thing when we talk about everybody got a story, so everybody's suffering.
Right.
Everybody got their own life going on, and so I think the easiest way to not let other people affect you is to just understand it through that perspective. If you come in pissed, you're not pissed at me. You pissed at something going on in your
Don't
life.
take it
Right.
If you being an asshole, that's because something going on with you. Yeah, so just the more that we can learn to not make everything so personal about us,
Right,
then it makes
that's
it a little
it.
easier to navigate with those ugly energies. Because it's like I walk in, if I speak and then you don't cool, all right, my bad. Like, I'm about to sit over here. I'm not mad at you. When you ready to speak, I'm not gonna meet you with ugly. I'm gonna be like, hey, you ready? Like, we're good. So I'm not beefing with you.
What I always tell people though is energy is real.
Yeah.
It can't be created, it can't be destroyed, it can only be transferred, right? And so you can walk in a room and you can feel the energy of a room. And then you have an option. You can stay and put up with what's in there, or you can leave.
But hold on. Everybody ain't got that choice, but what if it's on the workplace?
Right.
Okay, so here's the thing, right? Here's the thing though. High vibrating energy is always gonna overtake low vibrating energy. So all you got to do is no matter what, remember, listen, everybody going through something and nobody is exempt, right? And I can guarantee you, if everybody in this room right now was to throw all their problems in the room and everybody was transparent and real, I bet you'll pick your problem up. Because you just never know. So when you understand that, you're not gonna let nobody else's energy mess with you, because guess what? I understand you might be going through something, I am too, but you just letting yours overtake you a little bit more, and I don't want no parts of that. I don't want no parts of that. So, hey, how you doing? I got you.
Okay, Doc, this one is for you. While you amped up, how do you normalize mental health with the youth?
How do you normalize mental health with the youth? That's all.
That's you.
Let them know that it's okay not to be okay. And it's okay to, cause see, here's the thing though, and I'm actually writing up a script right now.
That's big.
For it's a script called Emotionally Driven Men Syndrome.
That's so real.
No,
That's a fact.
and I was once an addict.
Yeah.
I was addicted.
Same.
You feel me? Because I was raised by my mama and my grandma and all of them, and at 3-4 years old, I saw how women handle conflict, not having no male role model to show me how a man's supposed to handle conflict. I ended up with emotionally driven man syndrome, right? So what I tell the youth is a lot of them being raised by single mamas. So that's where the mental health is actually coming in at.
Yeah,
So I'm teaching them to stop, think. It's not as bad as you think it is, but if you keep on where you're going, it's gonna get worse. But I teach them that it's okay not to be okay, because it's a lot of them dealing with it right now. And they don't even know what's wrong with them. And the younger they are, the harder it is for them to corral their emotions. Because just when I was 15, 16 dealing with that syndrome, oh man, my mom used to tell, hey, just don't talk to him, leave him alone.
Leave him alone.
Just don't say nothing to him. And so we gotta let them know that it's okay to not be okay.
Absolutely. So Miss Anna,
Okay.
what is the best time or age to discuss suicide prevention?
I think age appropriateness, you're discussing age appropriateness, but I think very young, because the world has moved in such a different way now that they're faced in getting news and information that we never even considered.
Yeah.
So I say as early as 6 years old, if I'm gonna put a number on it, 5, 6, 6-year-olds they know.
Yeah, because they don't really start remembering stuff till they get about 5. So about 5 years old, they start getting that memory. So you're right, 6 years old.
If I was to put a number, but in an age appropriate way,
Okay, so you think it's based on the maturity level of that child too?
maturity level, but also the way you say it and what you say to them, surrounding it.
Accordingly, right?
And
Yeah,
you may not even mention suicide to them, but just talking to them about how they feel and how they express how they feel. And like if they say, if it's a negative expression, then you can say, okay, well, here's some ways. If you're mad at your friend at school, you can go do this, and give them some other options. So like just age appropriateness, using words that they understand and stuff.
And let them know that this is not GTA. You cannot press reset if you make a detrimental decision having an emotion.
What's GTA? I don't know.
Grand
Grand
Theft Auto.
Grand
Grand Theft
Everybody else.
You know what else I think? It's really to be honest about knowing your child, what type of child you have. Like, if they're high energy or they're low energy, or how they move. Like if you watch your child, you see your child every day, and you know how they move, you can tell when something's not right. You can tell when they're not feeling like themselves, or just identifying certain things about your child in general. And I say that to say that even though, we don't actually want to put a number on it, but it's just knowing your child, because there's so many things that you can identify about your own specific child. And that's how you know how to be able to have that type of talk with your child.
And with our brains, our brains do what we feed it.
Right.
It does what we feed it. So at that age, you're already putting in the academics. So you know that, hey, echoing what you said, more love for yourself. That conversation, care about yourself, love yourself. You love yourself, give yourself a hug. Those type of things.
Yes.
Put in what you want them to know about themselves, and self-care in their way.
Yeah, real.
And
'Cause
being
when you're
nurturing.
Nurturing.
I'm
Yes.
sorry.
No,
But like growing up wise, like when you grow up, how many times did anybody teach you like, or tell you like, go look in the mirror, love yourself, say I love you?
I got an
things
answer for that.
Affirmation.
Yeah, because
Yes.
I got an answer for
instead
that.
we're taught to love religion, love the country, love your mom,
Love your
neighbor.
love everybody
Yes.
else. But like none of you ever just got taught like love yourself. So I think if you teach that shit 1 year old, in different ways, they grow up and they don't have the same self-hatred or the same like other people have hurt me and now I'm traumatized by your words. It won't matter because you grew up loving yourself. So like shit, your words never hurt me. You get what I mean? Like
I got a question for you, sir. Children, where do they spend most of their time at? If you have any kids,
I got three boys.
where do they spend most of their time?
School. Oh, you ain't talking to me.
I was out homeschool my kids.
Oh, you homeschool?
Yeah.
You different.
So I'm
bro.
different.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you different. You different. So you already on top of it,
yeah,
bro.
like I'm
Hey.
trying to change the next
But
generation. I'm trying to make sure they understand.
most people cannot give their children that. You wanna know why? Because they working a 9 to 5.
That's exactly.
And then while they working a 9 to 5, their kids are at school.
Yeah.
Then
being
by
a
the time the kids get home at 3, 4 o'clock, what they doing? They changing their clothes,
on the
doing
tablet,
homework,
on the game,
watching a little TV, cook. The parent come home, cook.
They
They
raise
eat,
themselves.
and basically it's rinse and repeat.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another way that people are really not connecting with it because they can because
It's
we try
tough.
we try to
You
survive.
survive.
We're trying to survive in a
It's
system,
so
in a capitalistic system.
Yeah. If you're not a minimalist and know how to survive off of the low, like you have to make these ends meet at a higher level, and to do that requires a lot more time at work, a lot more time away from the house, and them kids take effect on it. Like,
Exactly.
I put my kid in school initially, and so like I seen how he was like up until I put him in kindergarten, my oldest, and so he's in 2nd grade now, he's 7, but I had him in kindergarten, and I watched him like just decline because of him absorbing his peers. So when 1st grade came, it was rough.
Oh, yeah,
like
that's
I was
real.
looking at this like this ain't my son. Who that is? Because like I didn't teach you this. We don't move like this in the house. And that's when I realized that influence is
real,
heavy.
bro.
Like,
And
that
that's
is
messed up
crazy.
because you can't control what other people put into their kids,
Ain't.
and that's messed up.
Hey, this
So
is
that's messed up.
When you listening to these 1-year-olds talking about having sex these 1st graders talking about having sex in the restroom and stuff, and your 1st grader come tell you that, and you like, nigga, what y'all learned today?
Yeah,
You like, I don't know. Yeah, we not doing this. 'Cause I'm not. Nah, that ain't
Exactly.
gonna work.
It's essential, and from what I understand, if you give 15 minutes, we just got to do it, and that's why we're here to talk about things to
Even at
improve
15
and
minutes.
implement. It's 15 minutes. It's going to make a difference for kids if you get on their level.
Yeah.
15 minutes is not a lot of time.
But do you think that's enough time?
Well, we got to do something.
It's
We gotta
better
start
than
somewhere.
nothing.
You have to
It's
start
better than
somewhere,
nothing.
yeah, you
Yeah,
have
it's
to
better
start
than nothing.
somewhere.
And 15 minutes every day, just on your level, in your face, just.
Hey, cause I'm 44 years old right now, and my Uncle Greg has never told me he loved me. I'll tell him right, hey, Uncle, I love you. Yeah, me too, nephew. And I get you saying me too, but I want
But
to
I
hear
want
you
it
say,
wrong.
I
Yeah.
love you.
Yeah.
Like I just started getting Dominique to say I love you. He'll tell me, you only get one a month. So you want it at the beginning, and I'm like, okay, that's cool.
That's because that's uncomfortable uncomfortable for them.
Yeah,
so
what I'm
uncomfortable.
saying. But the only reason it's uncomfortable because you're uncomfortable in your own
Yeah,
skin.
exactly.
You don't know who you are really.
But we learned that from our parents. My mother, as great of a mother as she was not affectionate. She was not like, she was a nurturer for sure, but she just wasn't an affectionate person. I can't tell you how many times I heard her say she loves me. She showed her love in so many different ways. And so it's like they passed that on to us, and then we passed that on to our kids. But me personally, it kind of changed me in a way, because when I started having kids, it made me be like, I really love these kids. Like, my kids they're in the house all day. They're gonna tell me they love me 100 times. I'm gonna tell them back. They're gonna want to hug all day. We do this because I never got that at home with my mom. So it's like I have to give that to my kids so that they can pass it on to their kids, because that's how we make the change.
But we gotta also not be mad at like the folks that did like your parents and stuff like that, because at the end of the day, nobody, especially when it comes to parents, ain't nobody giving a book. This shit hard.
Right.
This shit hard.
Yeah.
So the only real way to make the change is to do it generationally. It's the only way you can break that wall. Outside of that, I mean, yeah, our parents didn't know the affection because their parents didn't show affection. Their parents super didn't show affection. You know, like, but we're more wiser in this generation. So this is where we take, like you being a motivational speaker and things. Like, it takes them little things that they hear and them little movements and shit that they be like, oh, what is that? You know, like, and it helps push them to the next. Yeah, it's real.
Okay, so Miss Bridget, this question is for you. How do you encourage someone to get appropriate professional help?
How do I encourage someone? So first I have to meet them where they are. That's the main thing, meet them where they are. See what they are open to talk about. See what they're open to let me know. Like, what will you, what are you sharing with me? And then from there, try to just guide them. And a lot of times, like I said at the beginning, people just need somebody there to support, that's not gonna judge them, that's not gonna talk in their ear like and tell them, oh, you need to do this, you gotta go do this. What you wanna do? Like, I'm here, what you wanna do? You can call me at this time, we can talk, I'll just sit on the phone. You could just sit on the phone. So I think just being there with somebody, and then when they ready, you get ready, and you have your, your resources. What community, who you want to, who do you know, your networks, and you share your networks with them. And I think that's just how you can support somebody. Yeah.
Awesome. Anybody else have anything to add? Okay.
She tackled that one.
Absolutely.
She tackled that. She tackled that one.
Okay, so next question is, what do you think is more harmful than helpful for those with mental health crisis?
Ridicule. Or making them feel lesser than. Ridicule, making them feel lesser than. It's like setting off a bomb.
Making them feel like something wrong with them because see, believe it or not, that's what make people not even want to open up, because they worry about what people might think or say, so they hold it in. But some people get to that point, that breaking point, to where they just gotta say something, and then the time that they do, the time that somebody be like, oh, nigga, you crazy, or whatever the case may be, and that put them back in their little shell.
Or
the
do
next thing
something
you know,
detrimental.
yeah, that's what I'm finna say. The next thing you know, you hear about this person and done something all the way off the rockers, and you like, dang, man, you know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, that's what I think.
What about you, Retta? Do you want to add anything?
Repeat the question.
Okay,
Make sure I understand.
Okay, no worries. So what do you think is more harmful than helpful for those with having maybe a mental health crisis?
So for me, again, I can only speak from experience. So if you're a person like me, not letting that person fully express themselves. I don't think people really realize how detrimental it is for a person to already be on the edge. I feel emotional.
It's all right, man. We're here. This is what this was. We're here. This is what we're here for.
But nobody will listen
Mm.
to them.
Yeah, nah, that's real.
Cause I don't have like well, you have to have a space where, I'm sorry, y'all.
Yeah, it's okay, let it out.
This is what this for, man. This healing
Where
right here.
you can fully express yourself without judgment, without ridicule, because now, first of all, you didn't even let me say what I wanted to say, so you don't even know what's really wrong with me, because when I opened my mouth and said, like I had a conversation yesterday, and I said, yeah, I just don't like the way that made me feel, that just was, but the response that I got, it made me shut down. Because instead of, you only got to say nothing really, just listen. But if you meet a person who's already, it don't even have to be like at a breaking point, but they just trying to tell you something. People don't realize how detrimental it is not to let that person speak. Because they could be trying to tell you, this wasn't my case, yesterday, but they could be, I have been in this situation, they could be trying to tell you, I just don't want to live no more. But when they started the conversation, they said, you know what, I don't like this. I don't like the color of these walls. I don't like how people treat me. I don't like this job. And next, they're going to eventually, if you let them talk, they're eventually going to get to, they're going to start off like this. But if you let them talk, they're going to eventually be like, I don't even want to live no more. And then you know what's wrong. But you don't know that because you cut them off at, yeah, I don't like the color of these walls. Well, what's wrong with the walls? Why you don't like the color? Like,
You always complain.
Yeah, you always
turn
complain.
it into you.
Right. So now, you know what? I ain't gonna complain. I ain't gonna say nothing. People won't listen. We literally live in an era where people won't listen.
That's true.
Period. And they have good intentions. I ain't gonna say everybody. Some people don't have good intentions.
Yeah.
But some people have good intentions. And especially as a parent, because you want to fix it. You want to fix it. You don't know what's wrong, but my baby hurt. I'm 40 years old. I know my mama looking at this. She probably in tears because she don't want to see me hurt. And that's almost like our go-to. Let me just fix it. Half the time, you don't even know what you're trying to fix.
Wow.
Baby, that girl don't care about them walls or that job. She don't real. And what I learned,
For real, man.
what I learned, when my life was, I felt like everything fell apart. This when I started working out. When I felt like everything fell apart. And now today, two things. One, I realized I never wanted to end my life. I wanted to kill that situation. Like I didn't want to die. I wanted the situation to die. But I didn't know how to fix it.
Fix the situation without fixing the whole situation.
Yeah, I just didn't know. I didn't
For
know
real,
what to do.
everything.
Hey,
I wanted
Right.
that to die. And the second thing is, when you find something, because I'll say this a lot, when you find something that you love, you just be unapologetic about it. Because see, my life wasn't ending and it wasn't all fell apart. I kept saying that everything just falling apart. I would call my mama every day crying, in tears. Everything just fell apart. I worked all this, like I'm crying, I'm upset, I don't got this. This not supposed to happen to me. I did it right. And now today, my life didn't fall apart. My life came together.
Fell in place.
It fell in place.
Fell in place.
Period, point blank. Period. That was it.
That was beautiful. Thank you for the transparency.
Nah, for real.
Queen, nah, for real.
That's what
Because,
we need, though.
yes, that's what we need, that transparency, those breakthroughs.
Y'all.
Yes.
Nah, for real, man, because I know Retta's story and I know Retta's situation. I know all of that, you feel me? And so just for me to like hear it,
Yeah.
like you know what I'm saying,
It's
like to
usually not
hear it
like
and
this,
get
yeah.
some insight to it,
Yeah.
I understand, man.
You
And
see a
just
different perspective.
yeah, nah, man, I just thank God that you know what I'm saying, that she was able to find that gym.
Amen.
Yeah,
It's
she gave me my first juice.
Hey, we got one from her too.
Everybody, my brother's juice.
That's on the end. That's like that. You gotta check out, man.
Check her out.
You gotta check out. They need to, you know, you got sea moss and stuff.
And sea moss, you gotta get that sea moss. Mushrooms over here. Domestic violence help. Talk show host. Right over here.
Man,
Yeah, come on the
man.
show. Come on.
Right.
Get your hair done.
Yeah, we got it all.
Got it all.
Today.
Baby diapers, baby still.
And grief coat.
And grief coat.
Yeah.
Hold on, NAACP award winning.
Okay.
And that.
Hey, come on, quit selling yourself. Quit selling yourself short. Tell them who you is now.
Yeah, not once,
Yeah.
but 3 times.
Yeah.
It was 2. Oh,
I
know you won.
Come up again.
Just come up again.
Speaking it in the future.
Okay, so here's our last question.
we already at the end.
Man, it's been
Hold on,
great.
we got a finale. This ain't
Oh,
this
okay.
is-
I was gonna say
and
that.
then we'll
Okay, y'all
wrapping it up.
I blocked 2 hours off for
You
y'all.
feel me?
Okay,
I'm gonna find something to do for 30 minutes.
okay, so this one is for you, Kevin. What can we do individually and collectively to bring about meaningful and long overdue change to improve outcomes in our community?
Oh, who?
Community.
Oh, okay.
Start with the youth. Focus on getting the youth to love themselves before any other material.
Right.
They should know more about the grass in their front yard than they should the name brand on some shoes. You feel me? So I think that's a
Absolutely right.
big thing. That's huge. Within the adults, just figuring out how to address the certain things within your mind that hinder you, the certain traumas, the certain, and figure out your methods that's gonna help you overcome that. Your escapism. I mean, we all have to choose escapisms in this life, because what else are you gonna do? Sit back and cry?
Because
you
ain't
better go
nobody
to the
coming to
gym.
save you.
Ain't nobody gonna save you. So you better
Nobody.
pick up the weights. You better, go to the talk show. You better figure
Better
something
figure it
out.
out.
You better figure something
Yeah.
out that's gonna work for you.
Right.
Because if not, you're just gonna be lingering and dealing with the same depression and the highs and the lows and the I don't know what my purpose is and that whole,
Yeah.
and it's like the purpose is just being. Just figure it out. Just go with it. Just ride with it. You're not gonna understand it. It's gonna make sense at the end. The journey not gonna make no sense.
Nah,
you know?
man, but you
Why
gotta
am I going
fall
through
in
this?
love
But you
with it,
gotta-
though.
Yeah, you just gotta do it. And I think that helps us get to the next level if we all can just break down those masculinity walls and, say I love you to your brothers and damn it, can black people speak to me when I'm in the store? Like, this is a real issue because
And I do it
stove.
intentionally.
I do it
deliberately.
purposely because
Especially if
I
they got
get
a name tag on.
I
I
get
call
a-
everybody name and everything.
And I'm like, you gotta, even within our culture, don't stigma about image, I look crazy, when I'm walking around, it's no
Yeah,
real,
for
I just look
real.
crazy. But it's like,
I
I'm not,
smile
I
on
just go
purpose.
through, I've been through life, so it's just, I have a different perspective of it, but in that same breath, we all gotta just focus on ourselves.
Look, Kevin said, pick up the weights. I was gonna say, and make them heavy.
Whatever gonna push you to that limit, you
Can I
gotta
add
do it.
something on that, man? I think people, and this is like a hard truth that people really need to truly understand. Yesterday gone, tomorrow not promised. Life is short, right? And we spend a lot of time wasting it, being mad at people, being whatever, instead of actually waking up saying, Lord, I don't know if today is gonna be my last one. So I'm gonna love on people wherever they at. That's me. I promise you. I walk in the store soon. I'll be frowning in the car. As soon as I hit the store, I'm gonna
I'm
be up.
smiling.
I'm smiling. I'm speaking to people, hey, and I like to catch the older white crowd who I know don't like us.
Yeah.
And I speak to them, hey, how you doing, buddy? Oh, I'm blessed. All is well.
They be so excited.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? They say, how you doing? Oh, man, I'm enjoying life and I'm making it look good. How am I doing? You know what I'm saying? Because
You feel me?
Because- at the end of the day, man, you gotta understand, your whole day really is gonna go by the first thought you have when you first wake up and how you feel about yourself, man. And when people start loving themselves, they'll start loving other people. A lot of people don't love other people because they don't love themselves. And hurt people. We've heard it all our life. And I think that's what we gotta get back to, just truly enjoying life, realizing that this life is fast. Enjoy it while you got it, especially if you got all your limbs and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You thinking straight a little bit, you gotta enjoy your life, man.
Another back end of it, get some experience in life. I think when we limit our experience, we get subjected to our minds and our hubris or our egos or our prides and things like that. But experience will teach you, boy. You be around them homeless folk for a couple days, that teach you a whole different lesson.
That's my favorite group.
Get around them junkies, they teach you a whole lesson. It's real.
I got a whole message that I wrote called "Experience the Experiences," because everybody gonna go through experiences in life, right? But a lot of times we go through these hard experiences and we start whining, murmuring, and complaining, not realizing we done missed all the gems and jewels that God put in it. Because guess what? Everything that you go through that you've never been through is actually God teaching you something about life. And who else would you want to learn about life than Him? That's why He put us through a lot of stuff that we go through. So when you start to go through something and you say, okay, I know that I'm not going through this for nothing. What can I learn through this? Exactly. What? And a lot of stuff we learn ain't even for us. Yeah. It's to help somebody else down the road. You feel me? So when you learn to experience because guess what? Every application, everything, what they ask, how many years of what? Experience. So that must be something that's important. Yeah. So when you learn to experience, know that every experience that you go through, God is putting you through that for some reason, and you learn to say, hey, I don't know what it's for now, but I know it's for some, so I'm finna go through it with a happy, joyful, because guess what? You ain't gotta be here to actually go through it. Yeah. So thank God you're actually here to be going through it first and foremost, you feel me? But then just learn to go through the experience and get the gems and the nuggets that you need to get, and it's gonna make life smoother.
Exactly. That's so real.
I always, when you said that, I say this all the time, and my sister knows, because I say it all the time. Life is short and death is permanent, and that's something that helped me to be like, you know what, even if I have a bad day or I'm just frustrated or something, you know what, rather, life is short and death is permanent. When you're gone, you're gone.
You're gone. Ain't nothing you can do about it.
And you don't even know when you're gonna be gone. It could be tomorrow or today.
It could be tonight.
Or whatever. But we really just have to enjoy it, because a lot of it is how we think of things. I might be I'm in a great mental state. Yeah.
I didn't think about that. We was all angry. A lot of people in here. Let me not go to the hold on. I can't get a phone call by none of y'all.
Oh yeah, I get it. We don't know the day or the hour.
Yeah. Because your words are powerful.
Yeah, that's
what I'm saying is while we're here, enjoy it, but you can use that thought to pick yourself back up.
And it helps you not to take things for granted.
Yeah, I don't take nothing. I don't care what it is. I don't take
Even
nothing
yourself,
for granted.
because a lot of it is yourself. Go ahead.
No, that was it. I wanted to say that because Doc said something made me think about it.
Okay, so bonus question for everybody, and we're gonna go around the room. What book have you read that has empowered you? Past, present, you could be reading it now. Like,
I read pretty much everything that Valerie Burton puts out. One of the books that she puts out is she has a ministry towards helping women. Successful women think differently. So powerful. It's so measuring, easy read, and also happiness. Happiness is now becoming a new study. Believe it or not.
It's actually good.
Yes, because we've experienced a lot throughout the years, and now people are full circle.
Right.
It's about relaxing, enjoying your, finding the peace in life. So yes, happiness. Valerie Burton.
Okay. My all-time favorite book is The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy.
Okay.
It was wrote in 1963, and back then people still believed that you can do anything you put your mind to. But now things have moved so fast. I can order something right now from Walmart. By the time I get home, it's gonna be so. Things moving so fast, you're not giving your brain time enough to figure out your problem. So people don't really believe that you can do anything you put your mind to, but you really can. You can. And so Joseph Murphy, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind.
Okay.
Well, I'm not gonna cheat. I ain't been reading like that.
Anytime in your life. Any book in your lifetime.
$48 a power.
Oh.
Okay, yes, yes.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's a good one in our home too.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, for me, I think it's two books because I can like read them over and over again. One is I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, but the other one is The Power of Positive.
Thinking.
Power
Power of thinking big.
Yeah, that's another one, but it's the power. It's Power of Positive. It is a book called Power of Thinking Big Thinking. That's what it's called. But anyways, those my two like go-to books that every time I read them, I see it's something new. I be like, oh man, I didn't even realize that. But to me, both of them, I feel like I Know Why the Caged Bird Sing. That's more realistic from my experiences, and then the Power of Positive is where I want to be, like where I'm striving to get to, because I'm not always positive, but I'm more and more positive every day, more and more positive every day. The heavier them weights get, the more positive I get.
Gotta get that on the shirt.
Yes,
our body.
Hey, lift weights, make them heavy.
Yes. Look, my teenager, our youngest daughter, you know, she was having a moment because she don't know, she didn't know that side of me, and she walked by me and bumped me. I had to treat her like a dumbbell. I had to smack her. I was like, hey, don't do that, girl. I had to restrain and refrain.
Oh, you had to give her a hug.
I gave her.
I gave
a real tight hug, and baby, don't do that.
Okay, Miss Bridget.
So one of the books, I was actually reading it for work. We were all reading. It's called Dare to Lead by Brene Brown. Brene Brown has like a few books that I like, but it just talks about leadership, how to be a leader amongst everybody. And a lot of times to be a leader, you have to take a step back. And so I think that's something we all just need to learn. Just take a step back, get out of you, and then think for other people and see other people and see their thoughts and their emotions. And then that helps us become better leaders.
Okay. And Kevin.
I don't be remembering like the titles and the authors and shit. I just be finding a good one, and that's that. But like, I know like I had like the Four Noble Truths. That's a good one, and I like a lot of Ellen White's books. I like to read. Ellen White is a really good like speaker of learning self. The 50th Law. That's a cool one. I like that one. But yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't know specifically. I'd have to tell my wife to take a picture of my library real quick, so I can like, oh, that's the one. Yeah, I can't like right now be like, oh, that I remember. But there's just a lot of ones that just teach about self and understanding self. Be good books, really.
What are y'all's?
Well, mine is The Secret and Proverbs for the People.
Mine is more spiritual. So it's called The Shack. And if anybody's ever seen the movie, if you read the book, you're gonna be like, oh my God. It's like when you see a movie, you're like, okay, this is good. This really shows you how he tapped into his spiritual side to solve his mental issues, and how it helped him to help his family, because everybody from this, basically this guy, he loses a daughter. They go camping and he loses a daughter. Well, his entire family is affected by this situation. And so he goes through life and he starts to lose faith in the spirit, in God. And basically God tries to draw him back to him and show him the lessons in which he needed to learn in order to save not only his mental health issues, but his families too, and bring them closer together. So that's pretty much one of my favorite, because I feel like a lot of times we lose faith because things may not go our way, or we always down and out, and we don't see the light at the end of the tunnel, and so we lose a lot of faith. And it kind of just made me think like we have to keep our faith in the higher up. You know, we have to keep our faith in God and stay faithful to, you know, ourselves, because it's really it's hard. It's hard to. It really is. And sometimes you question God in certain aspects, you know, and it's just all about keeping the faith. Keeping the faith, staying close to the faith, because that's what's gonna keep you on the right direction. No matter what's going on in your life, which way it's going, if it's down, it's up, it's always about, to me, keeping the faith and being close to the Spirit.
Absolutely.
Within yourself, definitely.
I've heard of that movie.
Yes, you have to
I
watch
haven't
it.
watched
Yeah, I
it,
saw
but
it.
I've heard you
It's
say
so
that.
good.
I saw it.
Okay,
Yes,
well,
sir.
thank y'all.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Yes, yes.
Thank you, guys.
That was really good.
Man, thank everybody for coming out, man. Like, for real, this was cool.
Most definitely.
This was cool.
That was bad.
But this is our second one, though. This is our second one.
You guys did
Dang
great.
it. Open the doors.
Our first
Yeah.
one was